I'm talking about NCERT and the information is not given in a proper sequence, you will be really confused. And if you have seen NCERT and you compare, you will know what I'm talking about actually. Hello everyone, I am Purbi Ajmera. Welcome back to my channel. So here I am with the video, and this will be all about the best reference books for class 12th commerce. This video is specifically for commerce as I was from the commerce stream. So yes, without any further ado, let's get started. Now the most dreaded subject, and like usually the most dreaded subject, is accountancy. And many of you will be confused, like there are so many good publications, like actually the good ones. For example, D.K. Goyal, T.S. Grewal, and Target or whatnot. There are many, like Goyal brothers. There are many in the market, and yes, they might be good as well. But what I used and what I found very useful was D.K. Goyal. And there may be a tough, competition between T.S. Grewal and D.K. Goyal, and both of them are nice. The reason why I personally practiced D.K. Goyal was because my school teacher, he used to give sums from the T.S. Grewal book. So in this way, I could do both the books at the same time. But if you want one suggestion from me, it will be D.K. Goyal. And to be very honest, I did not use NCERT much because there, like the sums which are in NCERT are already present there, and you get extra sums which are a little bit level up from the NCERT questions. But yes, you can refer to D.K. Goyal. And if you ask about NCERT, you can refer for the theory questions because we had term 1 and term 2, as you know, but next year it won't be there. But for MCQ part, I did refer to NCERT for the theory questions only theory questions. And for the practical, yes, I referred both the books simultaneously. But just remember that all these are only suggestions from my side. Yes, if there is any book which is not mentioned in the list which I have suggested, or the name of the books which I have suggested, you need not worry. There are many good books in the market, many of which we might not know. But if you are comfortable with it, just know that whichever book you take, you just stick to it till the end and you complete the book. And that is what matters, because all you need is practice in accountancy. In a subject like accountancy, you have to be thorough with all the minute points, specifically in the partnership, the book, the fundamentals of partnership. There are many minute points which you will need to keep in mind. And so yes, this was all about accountancy. Now moving on to economics. Now many of you might have a conflict between, again, two of the books which are the dominating ones, which is Sandeep Garg and V.K. Ori. But what I suggest is Sandeep Garg, because there is a lot of additional information given in V.K. Ori which is not needed for us. But yes, if you want to enhance your knowledge, you can always go for that book as well. But there are a lot of extra elements which is not necessary as of now, because currently you need to stick to your class 12 curriculum because you need to focus on your boards. So yes, you can go for Sandeep Garg. Now in economics as well, there are two parts, macroeconomics and Indian economic development. Earlier it used to be micro and macro, but now for us it is macroeconomics and Indian economic development. So for macroeconomics, you can go for Sandeep Garg. Please don't open NCERT because the information is so clumsy there. Like personally, I'll suggest not to open NCERT because a lot of questions, if you see cbse past papers, you will see that most of the content is not relevant. And yes, I'm talking about NCERT and the information is not given in a proper sequence. You will be really confused. And if you have seen NCERT and you compare, you will know what I'm talking about actually. So yes, and the next book is Indian economic development, which is completely theory. So I would suggest that stick to NCERT because the content in NCERT is quite lucid. It's very clear, you'll understand it. It's just like business studies, which we'll be talking about in the later part of the video. So yes, just stick to NCERT for Indian economic development and you'll be good to go. And if you think that it's really necessary, then you can go for Sandeep Garg of Indian economic development as well. I had that book, but more specifically I chose NCERT because the lines and all the content is really good. You'll have a good amount of content for answer writing. But if you need, well arranged in a proper sequence, then you can always go for Sandeep Garg. Yes, this was all about economics as well. Now moving on, we have business studies. Now for business studies, I will only suggest NCERT because there is no book which is as good as NCERT for business studies. Now many of you might be following Sandeep Garg, S. Chand, Poonam Gandhi, but particularly I followed only NCERT for business studies because the content is very good written. It's written in points clearly, so you do not go for other books. And many of you might be following Poonam Gandhi because it is a really good book. For the questions and all, you can go for it, but for the content, if you ask from me, then I would suggest only NCERT. If you have seen the past year papers, then you will see that the lines are directly picked from the NCERT content, and they ask which importance is this. Like for example, the first chapter is the nature and significance of management. So they'll put some lines from NCERT from the case in the case study, and you need, like, just take for example the levels of management. So they'll say that Ravi is working in a, he's a CEO, he's a COO. So what level of management is he actually in? So it will be top level management, of course. That type of question, the NCERT book really helps. But other than that, if you want to go for different type of questions, you want to practice a little bit, then you can go for question banks which are available. I'll make another video for question banks if you ask me. So yes, do drop that in the comment section as well. Now moving on to, we are done with accounts, economics and business studies. Now let's jump to English. Now for English as well, we have two books, Flamingo and Vistas. You need to be thorough with both the books because of course the literature part will be based entirely on that. For questions, you can refer a good question bank, and no references needed as talking about English. But for practicing the questions and for getting the type of questions which are actually asked in exam, because the questions are not direct in English, they are quite value based, inference based, the passage based question and whatnot. So for that, you will be needing a good question bank. I will be coming up with a video on the question banks separately as well, so just wait for that. Now yes, for English, you need to be thorough with the NCERT books, and you need to speed up your writing specifically and enhance your answer writing, your vocabulary. And for that, you can always refer to YouTube channels which post idioms and like new words. You can learn new words and you can use that in your answers as well. And then the other two subjects which are different for different schools, I'll tell about my subjects, which was the first optional was mathematics. So I chose applied mathematics. Now there are two branches of mathematics, if you don't know. Core mathematics, which is the trigonometry wala part, and then second is the applied mathematics. So I chose applied mathematics, and the book which I used, like the school, because there was no specific book by the CBSE. Yes, you heard me correct. They have launched this year, I believe, but in our time there was no NCERT book for applied mathematics. We only had the syllabus and we had to study from that. So our school teachers followed ML Agarwal, and I personally practiced RD Sharma. Now it's completely fine if you are not able to cope up with RD Sharma because it's quite a thick book. But I told this in my previous video, in my class 10th video as well. You do not need to practice each and every question from the book because the volume is quite thick and it's not possible to practice each and every question from that book as well. So just you can circle the important questions and you can filter out the important questions and just practice that. But even if you don't want to go for RD Sharma, it's completely fine. Just complete the NCERT and then go for ML Agarwal. It's quite simple and it will help you. It will do a decent job for you as well. And the second elective which I had was entrepreneurship. Now many students might have physical education and other books and other subjects as well, but I had entrepreneurship, and even for that I would suggest only and only NCERT, because no other book is as good as NCERT for entrepreneurship or for business studies. these two, just stick to NCERT and it will be sorted. And you don't need to go for any reference book, maybe Poonam Gandhi or Sandeep Garg and whatnot. So yes, this was all about the reference books which you can use for class 12th commerce. And as I said before, the subjects might be different from mine, and if I get good recommendation from my friends who had the other subjects like physical education and all, I would pin in the comment section below. And if you want to buy any of these books, I'll link it in the description box below, because there are a lot of comments asking for providing the links so that it's easy for you to purchase it and you don't have to roam from site to site for purchasing those books. So I'll mention the links below. And yes, this was all about for the books, reference books for class 12 commerce, and we'll meet soon in my next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.